Doesn't make the chrysaloid shell in which we found her any less troubling. Not to mention the tar-like fluid that came pouring out of it. We're still analyzing both. And there's more.
You mean those suckers?
Indeed. But that's not what I'd call them. Much closer to a chiral rash, I would say. You know how chiral allergies can sometimes trigger goosebumps? It's like that, except a fair bit worse. The tar-like secretions can accelerate the passage of time on contact, it seems.
We suspect she has dooms too.
And that when she's levitating, she's experiencing the nightmares common amongst sufferers.
That space or realm she left behind to come here. The fellow we saw called it Nirvana, I believe. But to me, it looked like the land of the dead.
Even so, she's a living human being. And I believe that she was born in that place. After things settled down, I spoke with her for a little. Or tried to. She was still in shock, which made it harder to communicate.
Did she tell you her name?
Doesn't seem like she has one. As far as I could tell. So, I named her myself. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, huh?
Sam, it's Charlie. We've recently received a report of brigands engaging in suspicious activity to the west. I'm sure you'd like to push on, but I don't think we can afford to ignore this. Please access the DHV Magellan's delivery terminal to undertake this main order.
Before I forget, Sam, it seems you left some cargo behind outside the Northern Environmental Observatory, where the tar bubbled up before we were whisked away to the other side. You remember all that excitement, yes? Anyway, Tarman was kind enough to collect your cargo for us. It's been placed in your private locker aboard the DHV Magellan.
Sam, we've received an urgent request from the Northern Environmental Observatory. Brigands to the west of the facility have got their hands on a large stockpile of weapons and have taken it back to their base. This happened shortly after the recent Tarfall abated. The surrounding area was littered with a massive quantity of cargo that had been washed up by the tar. The brigands wasted no time gathering up everything they could and hauling it back to their encampment. This included weapons and gear unlike any we've seen before. And now we've begun observing new brigand units in the field. These ones are wearing red, reinforced armor, accented with luminescent light strips. As their unique appearance suggests, they're more resistant to damage. Melee and electrical attacks are especially ineffective against them. These units have clearly been outfitted for close quarters combat, and their sudden deployment is troubling to say the least. Their presence likely indicates that the brigands are gearing up for a raid of some sort. If we ignore this development, the brigands could use their new toys to attack the observatory, and there's no telling what might happen then. So we need to seize all of them before they have a chance to do so. Moreover, the latest data from the observatory strongly suggests an explosion of some sort occurred just beneath the Earth's surface not long ago. APAS analyzed the shockwave and has concluded that it is consistent with the type produced by ground-penetrating ordnance. This leads us to believe that the cargo the brigands secured may have included powerful explosive material. Directly assaulting the brigands using firearms risks triggering these devices, and we cannot predict how that would affect the region. Any sort of catastrophic explosion may also have an adverse impact on the tar currents. It is therefore critical that you avoid combat and secure the cargo without alerting them if possible. I implore you to take on this main order, Sam. And soon.
Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized.
Did you just drop some cargo, Sam? We've recovered everything then. Great. Let's get it delivered.
Now that's a damn fine fit.
Did you really go out and steal all that stuff from the brigands? Way to go, Sam. Let me get started on processing your haul. find a single scratch on any of this stuff. You truly are one of a kind. You have accomplished so much, done things only you could have done. We want you to have this data as thanks. We've increased your allocation of materials.
Now displaying your current order grade.
The guidepost data we just shared. And when you do place them, you'll find they're useful not only for getting your bearings, but also for creating routes that will facilitate travel for everyone. Aside from that, we've also made it so you can now use your PCC to fabricate bridges up to 80 meters in length. The rivers ahead of you are prone to flooding, so I imagine extra long bridges will be especially handy. Oh, and Sam, there's actually one other thing I wanted to talk about. Call it a little insight into the cargo you recovered on our behalf. It included a device I believe you guys have taken to calling a chiral jammer. These jammers are capable of disrupting the flow of local tar currents. In addition, you also recovered some explosives modded to be able to penetrate the ground and detonate within the tar. This would destabilize the currents over a large area. Needless to say, both these items could have been used to deliver an enormous blow to the chiral network. In other words, we've really dodged a bullet. But what I'd like to know is why this tech wound up in their hands in the first place. Can't chalk it up to pure chance. Honestly, it's almost like those brigands knew in advance that the tar was hiding cargo. We've got to consider the possibility that someone gave them a heads up. Food for thought on the road ahead.
Excellent work, Sam. You'll be happy to hear that tomorrow's regained consciousness. Once you're back on board the DHV Magellan, you should see for yourself.
Order completed. Well done.
Up there first.
Stop it.
Someone doesn't like shoes? She won't even touch any normal food. But at least we managed to convince her to take a shower. No, tomorrow. We don't do that.
Seems like a real handful.
She just needs some time to settle.
You must be tired, Sam. Get some rest.
the delivery terminal at the Northern Environmental Observatory to take on this main order.
Thank you. Kindly.
Nah. I'd rather hold it. There's a time for everything. This ain't it.
Hey!
Sam, by linking up the various sites farther to the north, you'll eventually be able to establish a connection to Hartman's facility. In short, it's time to tackle the northern part of the continent. Start by bringing the F2 South Distribution Center into the network. Some of the staff there are former residents of Cape Fort Knott who managed to escape the city before it was swallowed up by the tar. In addition to overseeing distribution operations, they also protect the facility from would-be assailants. Unfortunately, local chiral contamination levels are extremely high, leading to disturbing reports of paranormal phenomena near the facility. The cargo you're tasked with delivering should aid staff in dealing with this issue. Accept the main order from this delivery terminal to proceed.
delivery route finalized. This cargo has been designated.
Order accepted. Thank you.
drawbridge, I presume. Yeah, you seem like the genuine article. Welcome. Hope it wasn't too hard to track. I'll just need a moment to check your cargo. It's rare to receive something looking this good. I knew you were the right man for the job. You have been making a real difference around here. Keep it up. All right. Go ahead.
Now displaying your current order grade.
So we've been linked up, at last. There's also the necrobiotes you brought us as well. Feels like we finally turned the corner.
For our part, we've shared data for some custom vehicle components, as well as some sturdy combat boots. I'm sure the vehicle parts in particular will come in handy for combat and cargo retrieval. You need all the help you can get, because those armed survivalists waiting for you out east are far more dangerous foes than the brigands. They're a bunch of fools who won't hesitate to kill people, with no shortage of lethal weaponry. Though I'll be damned if I know where they got it. Make sure you're prepared before you head their way. Speaking of which, those combat boots ought to add some serious power to your kicks. You might want to equip a pair if you intend on getting up close and personal. Some people have called me that. A while back, we had a situation with this group that went around looting whatever supplies they felt like. And I was the boxing champ who went up against these guys and sent them all packing with nothing but his bare fists. That's the story they tell, but it sure as hell ain't the truth. I didn't charge gallantly into battle and beat the shit out of them. I approached them in peace so we could work it out. I asked why they were stealing from other people, and they said it was because they didn't have the skills to live any other way. So I taught them other ways to survive, trained them a bit. Nothing more than that, really. In the end, all we had to do was talk to each other. They weren't like the other riffraff you find around here. And they're still here. In fact, working in this facility. If anyone around here deserves to be called a hero, it's you, Sam. I mean, you're the one trekking across Australia trying to bring everyone together. Anyway, right now, we're trying to develop equipment tailored to close combat specialists. If we succeed, anyone will be capable of fighting as well as the so-called Golden Fist. Feel free to lend a hand if our project interests you. They're not something just anyone should be messing with. Their affinity with the dead makes them dangerous. But that's also why we could use them to prevent the dead from attacking us. With that kind of power at our disposal, we can put people's minds at ease. Could solve all kinds of problems, I'm sure. Thanks again. We're glad to have you in our corner. With your support, we'll be able to do so much more for others. Stay strong and keep doing your thing. We're in this fight together.
Sam, you're the best. Now get yourself back to the DHV Magellan and take a load off. Just so you know, tomorrow's been doing much better. Pay her a visit when you can, okay?
Order completed. Well done.
Just a little longer, okay? Raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. You know this song? So I just did me some talking to the sun. And I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know. The blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet. Okay.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
If you could deliver it to West Fort Knott as quickly as you can, that'd be great. We need to support each other at times like these, so pick up the priority order from the delivery terminal right away. I'm counting on you, Sam.
Commencing route creation. Delivery route commencing route creation. Delivery route final. Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized. Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Are you injured, Sam?
Eyes up.
So I shut the door and leave for a glass of wet champagne. Pour it on the TV screen.
Now leaving chiral network coverage.
Just a little bit more. Put your dresses in a row. Take the blonde with the blue bow. In a city I don't know. In a city I don't know. Don't rely on famous men. Only live in common town.
Now entering chiral network coverage.
I was dead. But you still put up a fight. Oh no, you're tired, dear. So shut the door and leave. Don't rely on famous men. Only live in common dens. Let rely on Alice Bell.
Thanks so much for stopping by.
Oh, Sam, I'm so glad to see you again. We just got hit by a massive quake. I was afraid you might have got hurt out there, or worse. Anyway, I'll check your cargo. You took excellent care of this cargo. It really shows. We were right to count on you. It feels as though we're always leaning on you for support. Please allow us to return the favor with this data. Just wanted to let you know that we're increasing the amount of material.
Now displaying your current order grade.
Thank you so much. We should be able to get our chiral printer in working order now. I've never felt tremors like that before. Not even when the tar currents were acting up. It makes me pretty concerned about other folks living nearby. But at least the monorail you patched up seems to be none the worse for wear. Hey, out of curiosity, have you restored any of the other large mines? They'd be a great source of materials if you were ever in need. Are you familiar with the island that lies north of our facility here at West Fort Knox? Well, there's a shelter on that island. The man who lives there only cares about his research and never talks to anyone. But I can't help worrying that he might have been hurt during the tremors. There are a few large mines in the northern part of the continent, not far from where you'll find North Fort Knox. Or where you used to be able to find it, I should say, before it was wiped off the map by a void out. As for the mines, no one knows if they were obliterated too. But if you happen to be headed that way, you might want to see if they're still around. You've been such a big help to us. Rest assured, our staff will see that everyone gets their share of the aid packages you delivered. A lot of people are going to be singing your praises before too long. Best of luck to you with everything.
Thanks for all your hard work. Everything there seems to be in order. But one cannot help but wonder what other facilities were affected. Anyway, you can pick up your next order from the F2 South Distribution Center. This one's a rescue mission, Sam. Someone's been taken hostage by the armed survivalists, and we need you to extract them to safety. The survivalists have been known to kill people, so you'll want to take extra care when preparing for this one. Oh, and it seems the tar currents have finally stabilized. So the Deirdre Magellan should be able to travel without issue. Call us if you need us. All right, Sam. Good luck.
Order completed. Well done.
Okay.
Hey Sam, Charlie here. This order is a hostage rescue operation. The target for extraction is this man. He was conducting a search in a mining region when communications abruptly ceased. He went there at the behest of the Dowser, who resides at the next facility you need to link up. Take heed that the mine in question is currently under the control of the armed survivalists, a faction whose members have no reservations about using lethal force and should be considered a serious threat. To make matters worse, some of them have been observed wearing armor as well as active skeletons. Such enemies will possess increased mobility and defensive capabilities. It would therefore be prudent to bring equipment to counter these advantages. There's no telling how much longer they'll keep the hostage alive. Moreover, saving him may help us to pursue future objectives in this region and beyond. Regardless, this is a matter of life and death for the Dowser's friend. Give your preparations all due consideration. He's counting on you, Sam.
Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized.
Order accepted. Thank you.
A word of warning, Sam. That sniper rifle doesn't appear to be equipped with a suppressor, meaning it will make considerable noise when fired. Take care not to attract the enemy's attention.
Creation. Delivery route.
man we came to rescue appears to be unconscious. Place him in a protective bag and get him to safety. All right, time to take our ailing friend to the Dowser shelter. We just need to figure out how to get over these mountains first.
Route creation. Delivery route finalized. Commencing route creation. Delivery route. detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
Process your orders then.
There you are. Thank goodness. And you saved my friend, too. Give me a moment to take stock. Wow, he looks as healthy as ever, despite having been held captive in enemy territory. That's amazing. There's something special about you. This was meant to be. I can...
Now displaying your current porter grade.
So, I'm a part of the chiral network now, am I? You can't even begin to imagine how much this is going to benefit my work. As thanks, I've shared the schematic for a level 2 PCC. I sense you'll need to build all kinds of structures to deal with the obstacles you're going to encounter from here on out. For instance, this more advanced PCC will allow you to fabricate zip lines. And this zip line's design is even better than the one you used back in the UCA. I also have another gift to share. A schematic for a boost skeleton. Throw it on and it'll allow you to carry heavy cargo with relative ease. And prepare to be amazed when you give it a boost. You'll run faster than ever and jump even farther too. That's a signature feature. It also has shock absorbers that reduce the damage you take from a big drop. But don't forget that boosting consumes battery power, so make sure you've got enough for when you need to rely on these features. Oh, and in case you're wondering, that friend of mine you rescued is doing well. His condition is stable and he's just catching up on some sleep. I can't thank you enough for getting him out. I search for underground streams and mineral veins. My gift also allows me to perceive distant objects. So, people sometimes ask me to track down lost items for them as well. But I only identify the general location. I leave it to my friend to handle the actual retrieval. He'd gone out to secure an item I'd located. The request came from a drawbridge member, actually, Hartman. He said it was essential for his research into using the beach for jumping. Anyway, I used my gift to ascertain the item's location. We knew that area wasn't safe, but my friend was willing to take the risk regardless. And despite what happened, he still managed to complete the job. I'll admit, he can be a bit reckless, but when he resolves to do something, he always sees it through. Like the old design, this zipline enables an individual to travel quickly between two anchors. However, you'll find it offers greater comfort and freedom of movement to the rider. Also, the lines themselves can now curve ever so slightly if necessary, which makes zipping around more viable in areas with plentiful obstacles. You see, even if I know where the thing I'm searching for is, it doesn't mean I can get there. That's why I've been looking into tools like this to facilitate travel. And with any luck, I'll have more solutions like this to share in the near future. There's another request I'd like to send your way, but I'll need a little more time to get everything in order. I'm still in the middle of processing the item my friend recovered before he got captured. So, I hope you don't mind waiting. I hate to inconvenience you, especially since I wouldn't even be able to make this request if you hadn't saved him. Oh, by the way, do you like apples? My friend brought a few back with him. It's just a shame he grabbed them before they'd fully ripened. He's got a bit of an impulsive nature, just his way. But don't worry, they'll be ready to eat soon enough. I'll send them to you then. Thank you again, Sam.
I'm glad you were able to get them out safely. That group was more dangerous than your average band of hostiles. Those weapons they were carrying were state-of-the-art. You'll need to keep an eye out for them in the future. Groups like these make me nervous about letting Tomorrow spend time outside, even though she's doing better. When you return to the G3 Magellan, you should see for yourself how much progress she's made. And get some rest. You're long overdue. I'm sure Dahlman's tired too.
Order complete. Well done.
I appreciate your efforts.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Hey, come on.
Tomorrow. I'm sorry, but you have to stay on board. It's too dangerous to go out by yourself. And you'll have to put on your shoes.
Look at this, Tamar. They're not quite ripe yet, but I think they might... It's okay tomorrow, really. For you.
Hey Sam, had yourself a good kip? There's something we'd like to discuss with you. Mind coming to the bridge for a quick chat?